Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your one channel for everything VR related. Today, we're checking out the best PCVR games that you can play on your Oculus Quest 2 via the Oculus Link cable or virtual desktop. Now, this isn't going to be a full tutorial, but rather a listing of the must-play titles that you just have to check out. So let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Okay, so before we get started, you're going to need the following: a computer capable of playing the latest VR games, an Oculus Link cable, and if you're gonna go the virtual desktop route, your Quest needs to be set up for sideloading. Now, if you're not familiar with the Oculus Link or virtual desktop, I'll include some links in the description for tutorials on those subjects. If you just need a cable, there's also links for that in the description to some of the third-party cables that I have personally tested. So once you have everything required, these are the titles that you have to check out on PCVR, starting with Asgard's Wrath. The file size for Asgard's Wrath is nearly twice the size of the default Oculus Quest, so I wouldn't expect to see a Quest port anytime soon. So what do you get in that 121 gigabytes of game? Well, it's an absolutely amazing and beautiful RPG title. The main storyline is at least 25 hours long, but you can easily sink 40 to 50 hours into this game. The combat's fun and rewarding, you have pets that you can issue orders to, and you could switch between different characters for a nice variety in how combat works. The game also excels at using VR to make storytelling that much more exciting. Asgard's Wrath is an easy recommendation for any RPG fans out there. Now, if you're looking for a game that delivers almost everything Asgard's Wrath has, but in a more streamlined package, well then you have to check out Half-Life Alyx. Half-Life Alyx is undeniably the best of what VR has to offer. It is incredibly beautiful, transports you to a completely believable world, and at times also scares the crap out of you. The attention to detail throughout this title is absolutely unbelievable, and while it's only around 7 to 8 hours long, when you do complete it, you feel like you've gone on an epic journey. It'll leave you with some of those gameplay moments that you just remember for the rest of your life. And all I'm gonna say is, Jeff, if you've played the game, you know what that means. And if you haven't played the game, I'm sure you'll know what that means once you've completed it. So next up, we have Star Wars Squadrons. If you ever wanted to jump into the cockpit of a TIE fighter or X-Wing, well, now is your chance. Star Wars Squadrons is undeniably gorgeous, and it's the epitome of what a Star Wars experience should be. The fact that this game is available both on flat screen and in VR helps keep the player base high for multiplayer, but the title truly excels in VR. Having the ability to look around your cockpit in VR makes you so much more capable in a spaceship dogfight. Now, if multiplayer isn't your style, the game also features an action-packed single-player campaign, which does an excellent job of naturally teaching you all these spaceship mechanics. The game's simple enough that anyone can get into it, but at the same time, it's rewarding to players with an advanced skill set. Now, another VR experience that you just can't get on the Oculus Quest is Boneworks. The advanced physics system in this game will buckle the knees of even the beefiest CPUs out there, but those physics also make for the most amazing melee combat. Did you want to grab your enemies by the neck and repeatedly smack their head into the wall? Well, now you can. Or maybe you want to impale them or kneecap them. Your options are limitless in this title. And don't worry, there's plenty of guns too. Whenever I know someone's ready for something a bit more advanced in VR, I load them right into the arena of Boneworks. While people have mixed opinions on the quality of the single-player campaign, I personally found it quite interesting, but I prefer the sandbox and arena modes, and it would be hard to deny that Boneworks doesn't have the best sandbox mode out there in VR. But an excellent competitor would be Blade and Sorcery. But now we're replacing robots from medieval characters and guns with spells. So if you prefer a medieval style sandbox, Blade and Sorcery is absolutely fantastic. It has those similar physics that we discussed for Boneworks, and you get to do some amazing stuff like slow down time, electrocute, or light your enemies on fire. Now, with the addition of the multitude of mods that are available for this game, you can easily argue it takes the title as best VR sandbox game. Those mods will do amazing things like allow you to practice your Jedi lightsaber decapitations, wield Thor's hammer, or even don an Iron Man suit. In many ways, the Blade and Sorcery experience goes unmatched. Now, my next recommendation is actually a fan favorite. I'm really ashamed to say that I just never got around to playing this game myself, but I can't tell you how many people recommend recommend this as their favorite PCVR title, and that's Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. Now the game has actually been in early access for quite some time now, but the developer Anton is always cooking up some crazy stuff to check out. So development is still very much alive, and there's a reason why this game is listed as overwhelmingly positive on Steam. So if you're looking for some gun-filled madness, this is the game to check out, and I've just convinced myself I'm gonna immediately try this out right after this video. Okay, so the final recommendation, if you're looking for some online co-op RPG action, you have to check out Karnage Chronicles. It's just an absolute blast, hacking goblins to death, and if you're like me who doesn't have too many friends, it's still an absolutely amazing RPG experience that plays out completely different in single player. Multiplayer turns into a bit of hack and slash craziness, where the single player experience is a lot more refined and strategic. It almost ends up feeling like two completely different games, but you can carry your progression from single player into the multiplayer mode and vice versa. Okay guys, so don't take off just yet, because I have some other small recommendations. These are games that are available on both PCVR and the Oculus Quest, but they either have features that aren't included on the Oculus Quest, or they just look so much better when played on a high-end PC. The first title is Rec Room. While the Oculus Quest 2 is getting some of the missing features that are only found on the PCVR version, if you immediately want full access to the game on the Oculus Quest, well then you're gonna have to either use Virtual Desktop or the Oculus Link. Now this is the exact same scenario for VR chat. While VR chat doesn't run great on anything, it does run a lot better on PCVR, and there's much more content available. Now the next title is Onward. While Onward is the hands down best tactical simulation on the Oculus Quest, the graphical difference between playing on the Quest and PCVR is just night and day. Yes, they've made some significant graphical progress over time, but the difference is still completely stunning. Moss is another one of those titles that if you just want to take in the full beauty of what it has to offer, well then you need to play it on PCVR. That beautifully charming world just feels so much more vibrant and realistic with the extra horsepower available on a PC. And finally, a game that I'm amazed they got to work so well on the Oculus Quest is just nicer to see in its full glory on a PC, and that's The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. When stepping between the Oculus Quest and PCVR, characters and zombies move much more towards realistic rather than the cartoonish version seen on the Oculus Quest. Okay guys, that was today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you guys on next time.